Hi, I'm Amandine from Tutor In A Box, and this is the first of our How To English videos. Our focus this month is going to be on how you recognise and use imperative verbs in your own writing. You may have heard of these types of verbs referred to as bossy verbs before. First of all, I think it would be a really good idea if we have a think and recap on what a verb actually is, because an imperative verb or bossy verb is a type of verb. You may remember that a verb is an action or a doing word. Okay, so it describes what is happening to the noun. So it could be a person, an object, or an animal. Have a look at these ones here. So we've got the words autumn, falling, leaf, blowing, green, and scrunching. Which of these do you think are verbs? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, so let's have a look at which of these are verbs. So our first one is the word falling. Here, if I put this into a sentence, I could describe the leaf or the leaves and say they are falling off the tree. The leaves are falling from the trees. So here it's describing that's the action, the doing thing that's happening. In our next one, we've got the word blowing. So again, I could put that into a sentence and I could say the leaves are blowing in the wind. You can see a bit of an autumn theme here. And then we have scrunching. So when I'm walking along the leaves, I could write a sentence describing that, saying the leaves are scrunching under my feet. The other words are a different type of word. So we have two nouns here, and we also have an adjective. So we could describe the leaves. So that's leaf, the word leaf is a noun, okay, an object or a thing. We could describe the leaf saying it is a green leaf, or we could use different colours just as they are all changing colour at this time of year. Okay, so this is an adjective and this is a noun. And then the word autumn is a noun, but you'll notice it has a capital letter because it's the name of the season. And we call it a proper noun because it has a capital letter. Okay, so next we're going to think about what are imperative verbs. So we know a verb is a word which tells us what someone is doing, and sometimes we need to boss someone about and tell them what to do. And this is, so when we use the verb like that, it's called a bossy verb or an imperative verb. So I'm sure you get lots of instructions. For example, clean your room, or do your homework, or something like that. So the verb that I've used at the beginning of those instructions or those commands is a bossy verb, an imperative verb. And that's what we're going to look at in more detail today. So let's think about where we find imperative verbs. Well, we always find them in instruction texts. So when you're following a set of instructions, it could be a recipe, it could be that you're doing some baking, or it could be a set of instructions to tell you how to make something, like this example here, which tells you it tells you what you will need and what to do to make a leaf garland. So we're going to look at that in a bit more detail. Okay, so here I have my set of instructions on how to make a leaf garland. Okay, you'll see we've got the numbers down here, which tell us the order in which to do things. So I wouldn't start with number 4. I'd start with the first instruction. And I'm going to read through them. I'd like you to think about highlighting or recognizing which words in each instruction that I read are the imperative or the bossy verbs. So they've got to be doing words, things that you need to do to carry out the instructions. And they're also telling us what to do. So number 1, look outside and collect a variety of different coloured leaves. Number 2, melt some wax in a pan. Number 3, use tongs or tweezers and lower the leaves gently into the pan. 4. Lift the leaves out quickly and hold them in the air for a few moments. 5. Lay them gently on a tea towel to dry. 6. Insert a hole into each leaf and thread your string through. And finally, number 7, hang your garland when it's cool and dry. Okay, so I think let's have a go at doing the first one together. Okay, so I've got my highlighter here. I'm going to read for the first one. So we've got look outside and collect a variety of different coloured leaves. So what is the actions that I'm doing here? Well, I'm needing to look. So I'm needing to go and look outside. So I'm going to highlight that. And then going outside is a place. Collect. So that's something I've got to do. I've got to go out and I've got to collect lots of different leaves. So that is my other bossy imperative verb in this sentence. So in some of the instructions sentences, there is 1 to find, and in some of them there's 2 to find. So pause the video, have a go, look at instructions 2 to 7 and see if you can work out which are the imperative or bossy verbs. Right, let's have a look together. So we had look outside and collect. In the second one, melt some wax in the pan. So melt was the doing word. In instruction number 3, we've got use. So using the tongs or the tweezers is the doing action word. And lower. So that means lowering them down into the pan. Then we've got lift. So this time the action is to take the leaves out quickly, and then to hold. This is our second imperative bossy verb in the sentence. In number 5, we've got lay. So the action of lying them, putting them down onto the tea towel to dry. In number 6, we've got insert. Okay, so that's making the hole or piercing the hole into each leaf. And also the other action or doing word is threading. So threading your string through the leaves. And then last but not least, number 7, hang. So that's the action word there, hanging your garland when it's cool and dry. Okay, so one question I have for you is, what do you notice about where the imperative or bossy verbs appear in the sentence? So have a think about that. I don't know if you've noticed, but I can see they're all here at the front. Okay, so most of the sentences start with them, and when we've got 2 things you need to do the instructions, so they're joined by the conjunction and, the second imperative or bossy verb comes straight after and. So and collect, and lower, and hold, and thread. So I want you to think very carefully about what you've learned so far or recapped on about imperative verbs, and it's over to you now. So I want you to have a go at writing your own instruction text. Okay, so I might start off, so I'm going to think about what it is that I'm going to write, and I'm going to start off with how to, and then it can be anything you want. Okay, it would be good if you could do something that you know about. Okay, so something you've got experience of. So it could be some instructions you followed recently, or something you do every day, or you watch being done every day, like making a cup of tea, making some toast. Okay, and have a chat to an adult helper about what you want to do. Okay, add lots of detail to your instructions. Okay, it's really important that you give the person who's going to be reading your instructions enough detail so they can carry it out, so they can do it as you think it needs to be done. And remember, imperative or bossy verbs normally come at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, so you will number your instructions and think about using your imperative or bossy verbs at the beginning of your sentence, and when you've finished, you could even go through and highlight all the bossy or imperative verbs you've used in your writing. So enjoy. Really well done. Okay, you've got really involved and hopefully tried out all the activities in this video. We'd love it if you can share your work with us. If there's something you're really proud of that you've done, please ask an adult to email it to info@tutorinabox.co.uk.